There's always a party in Montana. Whether you're going to a wedding, a football game, a concert, Montana Party Bus can get you there safe and will take you anywhere in Montana. You can relax with friends in style, luxury, and safety. Western Montana based for local and regional travel within Montana borders, Montana Party Bus is great for both large and small groups with a capacity of up to 30 guests. If you want to elevate your event, call them anytime, 406-200-8096. You can also visit mtpartybus.com. Travel anywhere in Montana in style with the Montana Party Bus.
Being in this industry since I was in college, one of the things I think we take the most pride in is athletes have been such a presence in Missoula for almost 40 years. The cool parts about our job is people always ask me, what do you do for a living? I sell foam, whether it's as simple as window tint all the way up to integrating a backup camera into a factory screen. I'm usually pretty excited about the options that we can present.
We're up and running. Welcome everybody to the first press conference of the 2025 season. We've got Coach Hauck with us here today because of the Labor Day holiday. We weren't able to get some players here today. Their schedules in their meetings right now. But as usual, we'll pass the microphone around for those listening at home and watching at home. But Coach, we'll start with your first thoughts as camp wrapped up and you look ahead to Central Washington this weekend.
Thanks, James. Again, apologize the players aren't available, but they're in meetings right now. Out of necessity, our schedule's a little different today, so stuck with me. I thought training camp was good. We're excited to play. It's the longest off season in all of sports, and we're finally going to get to play games. So it's hard to believe we're the only team that hasn't played yet, but we'll be excited to go this week. I think, it's an advantage to have played a game going into this one. So, we think Central will be ready to go for this one, certainly. They're a really good team. They won big last week. Chris Fisk is a great coach. He does a great job. Really admire the job he's done there. They have Montana ties on their staff. There's some familiarity for them with us. So, we know this is going to be a tough game. We did address the fact that a year ago we had a pretty good football team. We had Ferris State in here, and that was a real battle. They were one of the best teams we played in that season, and we kind of expect the same out of Central Washington. They've got good history and have played great football there for many, many years. So we expect this to be a highly contested game, and hopefully we'll be ready to go.
With camp complete now, just what were the biggest things you learned about this year's team throughout training camp?
I don't know that you learn so much in training camp. We were together all summer, so it's not like you're learning a whole bunch. It's more about getting game ready and getting the work in. I thought we had good work. I thought it was competitive. I like the work we got done.
As you guys did put that work in, just where do you feel this team made its most improvement throughout camp?
Again, I think it was more just getting ready, game ready. Improvement. We didn't have a scoreboard on, so it's hard to say. I don't know. I mean, you were out there. We went out and worked hard every day. That's what we did, and I think that you get better at things when you work at it.
Just how much depth do you feel you guys have with this year's group, and are there any specific positions where you feel really good about the depth you guys have built there?
I think that you are constantly striving to have depth on your football teams. That's every team in America. So, from recruiting and then player development standpoints, we're always trying to develop depth. That remains to be seen. Again, we've been 9 months playing against ourselves. We'll have a scoreboard on Saturday, and we can kind of see where that sits.
And just overall health of the team, just how are you guys coming out of camp?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'll see who's practicing today. That's my best gauge.
People hear criminal defense, medical malpractice, personal injury, wrongful death, DUIs. Might be a little broad for people, though. So let's go through it. Let's just give people examples of each of these types of cases. Start with medical malpractice, because I know that's one of your expertises.
Yeah, so medical malpractice, it can look like a doctor doing something wrong during a surgery. We've seen clients have something left inside of them after a surgery.
Wow.
A misdiagnosis from a doctor that they, miss, whether that be an infection or diagnosing some sort of illness, and then that individual having to live with that and having more damages because of that misdiagnosis. Wrongful death, personal injury, those can overlap, whether it's somebody gets in a car accident and, lose their life, or they're in a car accident and, they have what seem to be minor injuries at first, oftentimes can develop into something more. I mean, we have a lot of people who will call us and say, I don't even know if I need an attorney. My neck hurts, my back hurts, I think I'm just sore. But then come to find out they actually have a bulging disc or a fractured disc in their back and they need surgery. As for the criminal side, DUI is fairly straightforward. People, driving under the influence, but sometimes that doesn't just look like alcohol. It can be drugs involved as well. And then for the criminal side, we really see a multitude of things, whether that be assault, getting into some heavier stuff like, sexual intercourse without consent. We see the whole, gamut there and are ready to help people.
At Five Valleys Restoration, your view is our view, and what a beautiful view it is. We are proud to be locally owned, locally operated. We love our community here in Missoula and also the full Five Valleys that we do service. We give back to the community, we service our community, our kids go to school here, we live here, we play here. And
You mentioned longest off season in all of sports. Did it seem even longer not playing week one?
Yeah, we added a week to it. So, it was kind of fun to get to go to my daughter's volleyball game Saturday and then watch some games, but I prefer to be playing.
Yeah, were you kind of like chomping at the bit watching other games on Saturday?
Yeah, I think I'm just one of the crew, right? But I think everybody here was chomping at the bit to get out there and play and not having a game and watching everybody else in America playing. We've got an evening kick on Saturday, so there will be teams that will have completed their third game before we even kick it off. Kansas, Florida State, probably.
Right. How do you hope? Is there a way a team can take advantage, though, of having an extra week of training camp? And how do you hope you guys do?
There really isn't, because the schedule. Our open day was last weekend, but the NCAA doesn't let us set it up that way, so it's not like we get an extra week. Your start dates count back, and you only get a certain number of practices before the first game. So the answer to that is no.
From a game planning perspective, though, when we talked in July, you were saying everybody is sort of a mystery because there's so many new players. You have one game of game film on Central Washington.
They wouldn't exchange it, so we don't.
Oh, wow. Okay. So then how do you go about game planning if you don't have any game film?
Go off last year's film. That's the best we can do.
Was there a particularly competitive position group battle that you saw somebody rise up to the top and win?
I wouldn't say anyone was any more competitive than the other, but in saying that, I would probably impart that they were all pretty competitive. I think we have a competitive team.
So let's start with, how would you characterize the real estate market currently in both Missoula and western Montana?
Well, currently in Missoula, we've seen a rise in inventory and buyer activity slow down a little bit. So it's turning more into a buyer's market, more than I've probably ever seen in the last 10 years or so.
So what does that mean, a buyer's market? How would you define that?
A buyer's market is really just means that there's more homes for sale than there are buyer demand. So buyers have choices, especially in negotiations.
And that means less leverage for somebody that's selling their house, more leverage for somebody that's tried to buy a house, correct?
Correct. More leverage for buyers.
Okay, so if you are a buyer and you hire you as your realtor, how do you go about then sort of taking advantage of that said advantage?
Well, right now you have the upper hand in negotiations, right? And first we start with a CMA and get a value and see where that price falls in, or where the value is for the buyers. And then there's other things that we can negotiate, such as like seller concessions to help buy down the interest rate or give you a temporary break or relief on an interest rate to help with that monthly payment.
So if people want to find out about that and other listings that you have, how do they find them?
Best way is just get a hold of me by phone, 406-544-9794.
When you have a football team of new guys and you're going up against a team that's gotten to play for 60 minutes in this new season and you guys haven't, just in your eyes, how big of a disadvantage is that?
Well, every team in America's got a lot of new guys. You know, I was watching Cal and Oregon State, and they said Cal had 37 guys going to the transfer portal last year, which made them the 5th most in the ACC. So there's a good indicator on where it is in college football. But I do think that playing a game is a tremendous advantage against a team that hasn't. So, you know, but that is what it is. We're going to have to lean into that, make sure we're sharp.
Going off that, how excited are you to see all your guys go out there and play, and especially the ones that you haven't seen play in an actual game?
Well, you know, I'm always interested to see how the young guys perform when the lights are on. We have an idea what they can do athletically and if they know what they're doing. But the guys that have not played college football, the first time out is always interesting. Some of them, you know, perform like champs, and some of them short circuit. We have to keep them going and get them the experience. Sometimes that really shows up in the kicking game where a lot of those guys play. But in terms of being excited for the game, I think everybody would be really excited for this game.
What do you think, I don't know, in like a broad sense, is just like an important thing in a season opener for you to like execute or accomplish?
Well, you know, the idea, and you know, it sort of goes back to Frank's question, is you spend from January till this weekend trying to get ready for this game. You want to go out and execute at a high level, and you want to know what you're doing. You want to be sharp. You want to take care of the football. You want guys to do their job and not worry about anything else other than that. So, piggybacks onto your first question, I don't know that will happen. I just don't know. You never do.
Cash One Pawn, Missoula's #1 pawn shop.
You want money? We got money. You need money? We got money. We're cash.
Do yourself a favor and make Cash One Pawn part of your online shopping habits. Cash One Pawn has an awesome online inventory, everything from firearms to power tools to speaker equipment to jewelry. Visit Cash One Pawn today.
Cash One Pawn.
8720 Roller Coaster Road, CashOnePawn.com.
Meeting her stopped your world. The ring you give her should stop her heart.
Tina, will you marry me?
Not again! Don't worry, I'm gonna fix this. Because we want to be your jeweler! Aren't our beautiful diamond? Clear! Come back to me, Tina!
Are you okay?
The history between Montana and Central Washington, the last couple of meetings have been different and weird, right? You think of 08, where it was a pretty close game here, and then obviously the spring of 21. I mean, what do you remember about those games and contests, and why is it, I guess, these two programs kind of have memorable games against each other?
Well, I remember the 08 game distinctly because they had a really good team. I mean, the quarterback, I think Mike was the MVP in the CFL at one point in time, or the MVP of the Grey Cup, or maybe both. And then, you know, the tight end, I think the running back both spent time playing in the NFL, so they always have dudes. I think this time we played them that game in the spring, I think that was a little bit of an ambush. I think we had better preparation than they did.
Have you guys named any team captains yet for this season?
No, we haven't.
Will you guys?
We'll just do it game to game.
Just explain the thought process on that, I guess.
It's what NFL teams do. It's what our seniors prefer.
In looking at Central Washington, Mike Ferreter, their offensive coordinator, I know you said you don't have game film, but how much can you look back at old Idaho State stuff? You have guys on your staff who work with him. How much can that help you prepare for this game?
I don't know that we would ever go back whatever that was, 5, 6, 7 years, I don't think we'd go back that far. I don't, everybody evolves. Yet, like I said, it's the longest off season in sports. Most people evolve year to year, so I don't know if we'll go back 5, 6 years.
Do you guys have anyone who has to sit out the first half due to like an ejection or disqualification from the last game of the previous season?
I don't remember anybody getting thrown out of you.
Or it could be guys who transferred in. I'm not sure about all the situations.
I don't think so. Hope not. It would be news to me.
And just, how are you guys dividing it up this year? You guys have coaches on the sideline, or who's going to be up in the box this year?
I don't have that off the top of my head. Nor do I want to waste everybody's time with that.
Anybody else? All right, thanks everyone.
Thanks, guys.